generationally, man, like where we are right now, the consumer isn't really about appreciating music or appreciating the art. They're into just consuming the art. It's gluttony.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you want more and more and
Right.
more and more. You never are really, really satisfied. So even when something is good, you don't really care about it being good for long. You care about it being good in the moment.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode here of Your Peak Life. DJ Julian Rivera, June, Edgar the Sphere Munoz. You know what I'm talking about, but it's never about us three. It's always about that one individual or the group of individuals that we bring in. Today, we got a solo artist in the house. He's not an artist. He's a promoter. He's a salesman. He's a city official. He's that guy. I just want to be clear on that. A good friend, and I've known him for a very long time. He has two names, but we'll go by one. Antonio, a.k.a. Mr. Block Party, a.k.a. Mr. Cousins Festival, a.k.a. that guy. I lied. He has more than one name. Antonio, what up, bro?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. What's up, man?
Thanks for coming in, bro.
Nah, anytime I can link with you, man, for what you meant to me in my life, man, I'm doing it. So.
Man, you're in town. You're rocking.
Yeah.
Event season is full swing.
Full swing, man.
I saw your video. I saw a few weeks ago, but like you got your residency at Drai's this year, which is dope. We'll jump into a whole bunch, but I just want to say like that was dope seeing
something that started.
Just seeing something there, and I love Drai's. That's like that's probably my top two favorite clubs in Vegas. It's just the layout, the feel. I don't care who's there. It's just that venue, right?
Yeah, nah, for sure.
That's a pretty dope venue for like
Premier, man. Premier.
Right. That's dope. But but we know you. I know you. They've met you, but act like the people don't know who you are. So Antonio, who is Antonio, aka Mr. R&B Block Party, aka Mr. Cousins Festival, aka one of the Mr. 757s?
For sure, man. I'm a live event producer by job title. But I really look at myself kind of like a multi-use tool for entertainment and business. You know, we do a lot on both sides, man. Started out media guy, radio, you know, trying to figure out the landscape of what I really wanted to do. Was lucky enough to meet the right people and, you know, ended up being a promoter for a while and, you know, having the opportunity to promote shows and, you know, do things in that world. And then, you know, was also lucky to take it a step further and get into actually being the executive producer of a lot of these things. So 2022, we started the R&B Block Party, which has spun into so many great things. We've had, you know, the contract to be the official pre-party for Usher's Lovers and Friends Festival. We did that for 2 years. We've had our own stage at Something in the Water Festival. We've activated 31st Street Stage, put over 40 DJs on the stage over a weekend. Now getting into starting our Cousins Festival, which we feel like was a real gap filler, you know, for festivals here locally. You know, either they're branded to one community or they're so gigantic that, you know, it doesn't really feel like yours. And we felt like Cousins Festival was something that was not branded to one community of people. It was branded to everybody. That's why we called it Cousins. And then it wasn't this massive undertaking, 3 days, 100 artists, 1 day. It was something that we felt like was a need in the market. So I've had a really great 11-year career so far, man, coming into year 12 and, you know, get a chance to work with some really, really good people. My business partner, family, wish he could be here, somebody that has completely changed the trajectory of my career, you know, from coming out of being a promoter to getting the opportunity to be the decision maker in a lot of these projects and have a say-so on what these giants are doing, you know, around here when it comes to family, when it comes to Pusha T. It's a real blessing, man. I'm excited. I'm more excited for what's to come. You know, R&B Block Party, by the time this comes out, we would have announced a new deal that we have in Detroit at Motor City Casino, kicking that off with Jermaine Dupri in the fall of this year. It's a lot, man. I'm excited. I'm happy. It's a lot of good things going on.
As you should be, because you just had Manny Fresh here a few weeks ago too, right?
Yeah, we that's another contract that, you know, we're happy to be in bed with. It's the Me at Basketball Conference. They did their tournament here at Scope in March, and we were the official championship concert was an R&B Block Party.
Nice.
With Manny Fresh. And we also bought DJ Quicksilver from DC, who's like their main morning show DJ up there.
Yep.
It's dope.
That's awesome, brother. You know, I got to put this announcement out there. This was just dropped last week. You might or might not know about this, but on Veterans Day this year, November 11th, 2025, they're bringing it back. Norfolk State versus ODU.
I seen that.
At Chartway Arena this year.
I seen it.
But it's been gone for years, bro. I'm talking the basketball, not football. Basketball specifically is coming. That's a Tuesday, too. So it's an off night, but they're doing it specifically on Veterans Day. I thought that was smart. And then they're going to do it again next year in 2026, but it's going to be at Norfolk State. Yeah. So it's been literally probably almost 10 years since they've played each other. It's been a minute. I might be exaggerated, but it's been a minute.
They played when Chauncey was there a couple years ago.
That's still a long time.
Yeah.
It was a long time. I'm exaggerating 10 years.
It never should go away.
It should go every year.
We're going to be honest.
Right.
Certain things just should be a no-brainer. Like Hampton should play Norfolk State as 2 HBCUs.
Correct.
ODU and Norfolk State should play as 2 Norfolk D1 programs.
Yes.
Like some of that stuff just makes too much sense to have these gap years, man.
If we're talking about business, right? Let's just talk business, not the players, not the arenas, business wise. That just makes the most sense.
It makes the most sense.
Why would you not do that?
I mean, they love to throw around words like economic impact.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Like what larger economic impact from sports could you get once a year that's basically free?
Correct.
If you think about the business of the schools, they don't have to travel out of town.
Yep.
There's no extra hotel fees.
Yep.
You're home.
That's
right?
it.
If you
Tailgates, all the vendors.
You're gonna sell this out.
Yeah.
Both it's a sellout guarantee.
It makes
pretty
too
much.
much sense, man.
So it's like when you hear something like that in your business mind in the entertainment world, not even the entertainment world, because you're in my mind you're beyond that in a way of business, because your mind can think in other industries if you chose to. You're just married to the world right now that you know, like, and love, and it's treated you so good and you enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
But outside of the entertainment world, when you hear something like that, what do you think you would be able to provide to monetize on that crowd that's going to be there? Not at the game, but before or after. Knowing it's a Veterans Day, I'm just brainstorming ideas, right? Because that's a big announcement. And they haven't even dropped the whole schedule yet. They just dropped that one first, right? Just to kind of get the FOMO going, get those tickets ready to pre-sold. But there's people going to be doing after parties. There's people going to be doing pre-parties.
Man,
so it's like
you're
this.
In that world, you should be doing something.
What would you do? If you could just think it out loud right now, knowing that information.
I mean, me personally, I'm not going to be able to do anything.
But what would you do if you could?
If I could, I would definitely try to be in the mix of something for the students. Like, it's the one time that I feel like, not the one time, but as far as, like, student involvement and school pride, like, if you're a high school kid, most of the time, if you're not going out of the country, out of state, you're looking at ODU or Norfolk State.
Right.
So when you pick one, you kind of naturally, like, don't like the other.
Yeah.
You feel like the one you pick is better than the other.
Rivalry school.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
So
you're a Spartan or a Monarch. What are you going to be, right?
I would be in the middle of doing something for students, for sure.
So thinking in that route, you've done a lot of things. I mean, dude, you've done shows with DMX. You've done a lot of stuff. Like, I remember a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
We won't talk about the first one, but we'll talk. There's been a lot of other ones that we've had ever since then, because you've learned to fail forward.
Yeah.
Fail is the first attempt in learning.
For sure.
You just never let that stop you. It might have messed with your head for a few days. You might have thought, like, doubted yourself. We all do that, bro. Like, it happens, but you never gave up, and you continues to go. So now, as you're continuously hitting new and new peaks, again, your peak life, you're growing, you're hitting these new goals. What is the goal going into this year and then heading into 2026, since we're almost halfway through the year?
I feel like for me personally, man, if it's about, like, personal goals, I'm starting to really, really appreciate contract work. And really turning down a lot of, like, one-off work. When you're first starting, man, you're happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? And luckily for me, like, we have a very proof positive concept of what we do. And now it's like the deal has to make sense. It's probably the same thing for you guys in real estate. Like,
right.
A house could look like, or commercial property could look like the one, but if the lender isn't talking the right interest rates, or if
right,
absolutely, 100%,
just stuff like that, man. Like, it has to make sense. I guess they say, like, the older you get, the longer you work, you get to pick and choose what you want to do.
Facts.
And I'm just getting into a season, man, where I'm really appreciating long-term deals. So that's a goal for me. The residency in Vegas is 5 months. The Detroit property, we're looking at 4 months, kicking off in the fall. So
congrats on that, by the way. That's huge, bro.
Man. Thank you. So next year, man, I'm really, really not into, like, the one-off stuff. Like, our contract with MEAC is 3 years.
Okay.
it just allows you to forecast your year, to budget your year, to
Yeah.
know what you're gonna look like staff wise. We went from a 3-person staff 2022 to now like 11, 12 people, which for a small entertainment company, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's real jobs. It's not somebody just having busy work to do. Like the ecosystem doesn't work if this person isn't doing
Right.
you know what they were hired to do. So that's one of my personal goals, man. And then you know, you and I have been talking, man, on a Antonio level, not a business work level. Like I really want to start figuring out. I'm really interested in commercial real estate and kind of buying assets that are already alive,
Yeah.
so to speak. I don't really want to do any ground builds, but you know, that's something that I really want to get into, which is really, really, you know, intrigued me in some of the conversations that we've had,
Yeah.
you know, about the possibilities of some of this stuff. So.
Well, because it can happen. Because a lot of the times, you know, people, you need money to live. Everyone needs money to live. I don't care where you're working at. You need that to put food in your plate and to put a roof over your head.
Yeah.
But when you get to a point, the older you get, you realize money's a tool. It's up to you on what you're going to build when you get those tools. And you're in a winning season right now. Tools are coming your way. So the conversation that we're having is like, it's building conversations, and that's the building from the ground up. The conversations and being in the rooms to do that. It's the same thing when you started meeting the right people to start building the shows, right? Mm-hmm. You now have a proof of concept. So now if you're buying into something, whether it's commercial, whether it's multifamily, whether it's a primary, it doesn't matter. The tools are there. It's just how you're going to deploy them. And that's like the same concept as you coming to me, Edwin, June, or Edgar, or anybody like that. Hey, how can I get to that point? It'd be the other way around. Like, yo, I'm trying to do an event, man. I don't know really what to do. It's the same concept, just two different industries.
Yeah.
So the good news is that you're what, 33 now? 34, you're old. 34, we're all older than you. But you're at a point now where mentally you're thinking that way more and more every day, not even every year, because you're starting to see where you can go. It's like a clearer path for you on what you can do based on what you've built. And June, you've experienced that. Edgar, you've experienced that. I experienced that. And ironically for me, I feel for us as men, a lot of those light bulb moments come between the ages of 27 and 33. We just start maturing at that age for some reason. At least that's what I've had. That's what I've learned in the conversations. Me, it was like at 29. And I'm like, yo, I got to change something. I got to start doing something different. And that can be you doing different events, doing less one-offs, being more contract work. That can be me, yo, I got to start working with June and Edgar because I feel that's going to help me get to the next level. And then the value I provide in the back end will help on the back end of what they probably might not even thought they needed or even wanted. The thing is just when you get in the room, you just don't know what's going to happen. But the problem is getting in the room, and most people don't do that. You're already in your room. You already built the room. So it's now like, how many more can you build on top of that?
Yeah.
And with that, it's also like peaks. Your next peak, your next goal in 26, you want to start diversifying. That's really what that is. You built a dope-ass system, right? So now diversification is key. We talk about this a lot. Yeah. Like, we're good where we're at. Thank God, we're very blessed. I like to say that. A brand has been built. We're very, very blessed to be able to help so many families in a year here. I mean, bro, how many families did the company help last year in total?
2,700.
2,700 families.
More or less. But right now, so doing the what we have closed and what we have under contract, we're almost at 2,500, and we're in.
Yeah, our goal is definitely go past the billion.
Yeah, so
in
our
sales.
goal was 3,000.
Right.
We'll probably hit 3,000 in
It's crazy.
couple months.
Right.
So we're like, and it's just about. I had a question for you. I know.
No, go.
So a lot of times I know Julian always says, "Yo, you got to get in a room." Well, I 100% agree. You have to get in a room, but there's always one quality that kind of attracts people to each other.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of dope people in the world, but there's not many dope people that get the opportunities to partner with a family or be on tour with Nori. I heard you say, which is my guy. Like, Nori's my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nothing. Sorry, I just said that loud.
You know, I mean, he put Puerto Ricans on the map. If you go back, like, no, is a whole different thing for me.
You're
know what I
Mexican.
mean?
You won't get it. You're Mexican. It's
Yeah,
okay.
they were bumping it in California.
Yeah, man, the Boricua.
Not that one.
Bro, what? They still rocking that in the club.
I played that last
Man.
week. I'm just saying.
Am I lying?
No, I
we
still
was
play.
rocking in the club.
Yeah, we were.
This
He came out late, too.
La
This is
Chona.
this is the LA, he in,
Yeah, he's
look at
Cali
him.
guy.
Yeah,
He don't even know.
Converse
Yeah.
and low riders. They don't even know music over
Nah.
there.
They don't even know Puerto Ricans anywhere else. But it's all good.
Bro,
Keep going.
our
You were
island
asking
is
him a
this
question. It was a
big.
good point.
You know the
You were
influence
going
we
to
have?
go
Who's the
away.
number one artist in the world right now?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny,
You know
bro.
that is? No,
he's Puerto
he's
Rican.
not Mexican. He's Puerto Rican.
What are you
Just putting
talking
that out there.
about?
Did not know that.
Actually, he's like Taylor Swift, then Bad Bunny, just to be clear. But
Bro.
Puerto Rican for sure.
yeah, he's definitely
Yeah,
Puerto Rican.
purebred,
It's okay.
100%
You're
like
on this
me.
side now, bro. You got to learn. You're not on the
Anyway.
West Coast. It's okay.
You got
Look.
Kendrick, bro.
Yeah, you got
yeah,
Kendrick.
he got
He don't even
Kendrick.
like Kendrick.
Yeah, he don't even like
He's
Kendrick.
from the
I
West
like Kendrick,
Coast,
bro. Come on.
I've
we
thought
go.
about that.
Here we go.
But I would, going back to the question before I was rudely interrupted by Edgar, what would you say is your quality that attracts people to you?
I think people can sense that I'm a real person.
Authentic.
Yeah, I don't come in here like I don't have any T.I. size big words for you. Like I don't like. Look, man, I'm a 34-year-old black guy from South Norfolk. You're not even supposed to make it out of that space.
But I'm gonna tell you, you articulate yourself very well.
I
You just
appreciate it,
spoke
man.
in front of our agents. We have people speak all the time.
Yeah.
You articulate very, very, very well. You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
appreciate
So
it.
like, I know you say I'm a black dude from South Norfolk. I don't get that vibe. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, just to be perfectly honest with
But
you.
I think that's the authenticness, man. Like I've been like this my whole life. Like I got a little bit of like backstory too, man. Yeah, my grandparents were Jehovah's Witnesses. They
Okay.
raised me right. So you're a 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid knocking on people's doors on Saturday. Like me and rejection have had a love thing my entire career.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really like. You don't realize what those things build you for until you're doing it later, and you realize, oh man, this is why. Like, I'm not shy. I'm not up here talking to y'all worried about what y'all think about me.
Facts.
I can actually care less what y'all think. Hopefully, though, it's the Tupac mentality. One person in here bangs with it, and we all cool. You know what I'm saying? The other 30 of y'all could be like, yeah, I don't even care about
I
that.
think that's the biggest thing. That people care too much about other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Like they put way too much weight.
Yeah, and it's not like they don't matter. They just shouldn't matter that much to you.
No,
To
you
affect
have your
you.
own life path.
Because it matters. People's opinion definitely
Yeah,
matters,
always.
right?
To a point.
But
But
it
when
shouldn't
you
matter
eat
to
doesn't
the
make me shit,
yeah,
right? Like that
correct,
concept.
exactly. It shouldn't affect you, or even though it does in a lot of people. But that's where that emotional intelligence comes
I mean,
in.
there's people that live off of the opinions of others, man.
Facts.
It's why like social media is so dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think those people are still finding themselves.
Yeah,
Right?
For sure.
When you start getting comfortable with the person you are, like the human, other people's opinion kind of like whatever. I know I'm comfortable with who I am. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes, like Julian said, it takes 27 to 33 for men to mature. Man, I want to say like 37 or 40. You know what I mean?
When he
'Cause
said that, I was
I'm
like, bro.
Bro, I'm talking about.
You
I
giving
want to
us some
say
grace.
We've had that conversation.
You
because-
giving us some grace for sure,
Bro,
cause-
40, I
but
say.
even when you get to, I'm 44, but even when you get to this age, you're looking back at your 33, 34 yourself.
Yeah.
It's like you still had a lot of
Correct.
growth coming.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my wife the other day, tripping, and I was like, yo, at 27, 28, I started making these like mental pacts with myself that like, yo, at 30, I'm gonna stop all my bullshit. Like, I'ma stop.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I'ma get on the straight and narrow. I'm gonna be more serious about family oriented shit. I got 30 and went wild. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, it was the total opposite. It was like, oh man, like
Me and him, we're in the military, and this is a military town. It's like
Yeah.
we went around the world a couple times, and it's like we partied,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it was a different era also, where there's like cameras are not around, like definitely felonies and from doing dumb shit in foreign countries,
Yeah.
right? But at that time, that was just like the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? We're going out, we're having a good time, whatever happens, happens.
And
Like,
then
that's
nobody
the
really,
best nights.
And then nobody really talks about it. That era is gone because
Yeah.
now it's about broadcasting and promoting everything you're doing.
It's kind of something I wanted to ask him about, since you're doing all the promotions. Vice 10 years ago, doing your event versus now you got a residency. What are those clubs looking like?
10 years ago
to now,
today.
like,
I mean, the landscape of entertainment and music culture has changed extremely. It changes a lot year by year, but I mean, 10 years ago, man, 2015, you got to think about it. That was still an album sales environment, right? Like, you still had a lot of guys that can't put a single out today that could put an album out in 2015 and tour off the album.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I'll give you, like, an example. Like, 2016, 2 Chainz dropped Pretty Girls Like Trap Music album. He toured the whole album. We had a date at ODU. 2 Chainz couldn't strike fire with a box of matches right now. I love you to death, Chainz. You know what I'm saying? You and E, I love all y'all. But it's just the reality and the truth of how hard it is now. Because when you had 2 minutes of fame in 2015, now that 2 minutes has trickled down to 30 seconds. If you had 2 minutes to do, now you got to figure it out with 30. And what I mean by that is the perception of the attention span of the consumer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you say 10 years ago, everybody's job was more impactful. The DJ, the promoter, right? Like, there were a ton of promoters, and I laugh at it, and this is just how the tables turn. When I first started, you couldn't go to Richmond and promote a show if you were a Norfolk promoter. Like, everybody, you couldn't go to Virginia Beach. Like, there was certain little ecosystems where now, like, you don't even see these people. Like, they don't exist. You know what I'm saying? It's just got smaller and smaller and smaller. Large buyouts, right? There were a lot more independents 10 years ago. Not just clubs. I didn't really do clubs, so a lot of my stuff that I'm talking to you about is theaters, arena touring, stuff like that, right? When you look at, like, mergers of, like, how Live Nation has consumed so much, you know what I'm saying? They fucking bought Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Imagine a tour promoting company owning the ticket sale company too. That's why that lawsuit and all that federal stuff happened, because that's just it. You just shouldn't be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's
monopolizing.
mind-blowing.
It doesn't make
It's
sense.
mind-blowing even sitting here talking about it. But that was the major difference, man. I think the ecosystem was larger 10 years ago, and there was more room for everything. If you were a street promoter that handed out flyers, there was a job for you 10 years ago, right? Now, I don't need a street promoter. I haven't printed a flyer for an event in probably 6 or 7 years.
Dude, I used to hang out at the back of the van and throw out the flyers at McDonald's.
But this is what I'm saying.
Taco Bell,
right? Like, I mean, you remember, Julian, you first start, you getting you coming out the club, and on your windshield of your car is 5 different event flyers.
I remember it
And
easy.
you like, yo, like, where was this dude when I walked in the club? How did he sneak in? It's rained outside. This shit stuck to my windshield. Like, you pissed.
You didn't even know it until you left and you started
You
using
didn't
it. Like,
even
what the?
know.
I gotta put my arm around it
Yo,
and get it.
You know what I'm saying? But
And
think
Josh
about
was
that.
printing all of them, right?
And Josh was printing all of that. So there's back to that ecosystem, right? Like, what happens to somebody like Josh, who, if he's making $100,000 a year, and let's just say 20% of that budget of income, that $20,000 gap right there that's coming from people printing flyers, printing posters so they can hit barbershops, the shit just goes away.
Yeah.
You adapt.
You know
No,
what I'm saying?
because even like, you look at, let's just go way back, like, you see rappers like Exhibit, he did Pimp My Ride, right? That's a whole production, a show. Then you fast forward to now, Action Bronson doing Fuck That's Delicious, and 2 Chainz doing that most expensive show on just YouTube or whatever. But that's a small production team. That's just like a cameraman and his mic.
Yeah.
And he's moved out kind of although he raps every now and then, but you're right, like, it's not like an album's gonna blow up.
Man, I remember in 2010, 2011, maybe a little bit after that, I hate quoting dates. J. Cole pulls up the amphitheater in Virginia Beach, Forest Hill Drive tour, right? 4 tour buses, 12 semi-trucks, 18-wheelers for production, all of this type of shit, right? I was backstage at somebody's concert, not mine, it was somebody's, at the amphitheater. And the reason I'm using the amphitheater is because that's a big production. Anytime an artist goes and plays that amphitheater in Virginia Beach, you better know Live Nation paid some money for them to be there.
Yep.
Right? It was 50 Cent's tour.
Back then.
No, this was like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, that
I
one
was
was
there.
huge.
But I'm saying, though, I pulled up
Yeah.
one tour bus,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
6, 7 semis.
Yeah.
And his stage production was crazy.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
probably crazier than what J. Cole had
Right.
at his. But what I'm saying, though, is think about, like, Hard Knock Life Tour where you got Hove, DMX.
Crazy.
Right? Like, you're thinking about tours of that size. They're pulling up with 30-man entourages.
Yep.
5, 6 tour buses. And there's enough money for everybody. Dog, I bring in Erykah Badu last year for Cousins Festival. Huge production. We had 2 semis, 4 box trucks, and all the artists came in with their own drivers. It hasn't gone down to where nobody's making money, but it's compressed to where you may have only had 1 job. Now you got 4.
Right. More hats.
Right.
Yeah.
The tour manager isn't just the tour manager anymore. The tour manager is now the PM. So he's the tour manager, he's the production manager, he's the stage manager.
Yep.
He's doing 3 people's jobs, right? That's your difference, bro. Like, it's condensed so much due to, like, just structural changes of the industry. The lifespan of an artist now, when I'm talking to my record label friends, it's anywhere from 12 to 16 months.
Damn.
Imagine that. Imagine signing a new kid
Damn.
and knowing that he has 12 to 16 months of good peak life,
Right.
right? And then at that point, something has to happen in order to get that next 12 months out of the artist. And God forbid some stupid junk happens on social media
Yep.
where
They get canceled.
right? Like, that can take your 16 months down to 4 months at the click of an Instagram post.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You just invested because you're the record label. You just gave this kid $500,000 advance because you felt like, look, $500,000 ain't no money, because it's not, if we're being honest, right? Like, in our industry, $500,000, you should be able to make that back on 1 tour. You send a kid out, you own his tour rights. You put him in some 360 deal.
Yep.
Right? You send him out, you book the tour, it costs you $200,000 to book 10 dates, right? You spend $20,000 a night. You go back in, you make $80,000 a night between ticket sales, merchandise. You just made $800 off of $200 that it took to book the tour, right?
Yeah.
You gave them $500 in advance. You recoup your other $300 from merch, from other stuff. It's not hard to make the money, right? But when you start falling into all these intricacies, trying not to get canceled, doing the wrong features, right? It's very rare you get a Glorilla. Like, she's a shining example of somebody who should have had 12 to 16 months that's now hugging Beyonce on Grammy stages.
Yep.
And selling out arenas.
That's true.
Right? Because whatever Yo Gotti did to get her past that 16 months,
It worked.
it worked. Right? And then you got other artists that you feel like should work. Everybody thinks Shabuzi is some new hot act.
Right.
Shabuzi was signed to CAA 4 years ago. He's had an agent and been on the roster for 4 years, and you're just now hearing about him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, and he came out as a rapper,
Right. He pivoted.
Yeah, I'm just new to you.
Yeah.
right? It's the Post Malone story.
Yeah.
Post Malone comes out as a white rapper.
Right.
It's been so far removed from your mind that you forget he had braids and tattoos and was on the path of being a white rapper.
Correct.
To now, he's literally the biggest pop country star in the world. Not even in the country, in the world. There's nobody really bigger than Post Malone. You got to start getting into your Taylor Swifts and Beyonces and J Balvin's and
At this
Bad
point,
Bunnies at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, here's a personal question. Who are you bumping right now? Like, who's today your
Who's
artist?
in your
I
car,
only
right?
listen to my guys, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
listen to the clips. You know,
that's fire.
Listen to Pusha, but
Right.
I love music.
Who's the new artist right now that you're like, all right, hip hop's back or R&B? Like,
It's tough for me because I don't really listen to rap for real.
okay.
Like I love R&B. Like I listen to
so me and my wife were talking about that. It's like,
I
man,
listen to a lot of old music.
Yeah, so do I.
God, all right, you're 34 years old. All right, I'm 41. He's 100. He's the 200. Okay, so we all like the same music you listen to. We grew up to the music that you listen to, and this is from a DJ's perspective. When I still spin, they come up and ask for songs that we grew up to. They don't even ask for new shit. Maybe like a T Swift over like a Bobby Shmurda mix that would work, right? Because it hits both, but not the song. It's just ironic in how it has to be a banger, like a Post Malone, a T Swift or whatever for that to work. But when it comes out to DJing, I'm talking about 2018 and below, sometimes 2010 and below, and those are the only bangers. But they don't make them like they used to. They just don't have those same producing styles that make people dance. Because you go to the clubs, most people ain't dancing at the clubs. Even at EDM clubs, they're just crazy, they're doing whatever, but they're not dancing with a partner. At a let's just call it a hip hop club, they mostly bobbing, popping bottles, whatever. They're not. It's not like it was when we went out.
You ain't coming out sweating.
No, they're
from
not
dancing at the alley.
Crazy.
It's not the same.
That's the total opposite at an R&B block party.
Yeah,
because it's that. It's the vibe.
Because it's an old school vibe.
They're
it's the
dancing,
vibe that we were used
sweating,
to. Yeah.
Shoes is messed up.
Yeah, you
don't care. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, but you can tell exactly what you're saying, man. Like, it was a different consumption of music. Like, a big record nowadays, big records used to last.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even the rap records, like a Jay-Z Big Pimpin', like, these records used to last. And you look at, like, a Kendrick Lamar Not Like Us record. I just seen the other day, it finally came off of Billboard.
Finally.
But think about how many things it took to keep that record alive.
Yeah.
Right? In all actuality, if it's not wrapped around the situation with him and Drake, if it's doesn't have the Super Bowl performance, if it doesn't have all of these variables, as great of a song it is, because if you didn't know what was going on, my kids love that song. I think it's a great record.
Right.
You don't know if it lives that long because people are just looking for the next thing. They don't even give it time to appreciate the art of somebody like Kendrick, who's like, we don't deserve, if we're being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the absolute best if you actually know what you're looking at in an artist. Like, the cerebral nature of a him, a J. Cole, artist, even Push, you know what I'm saying? Artists like that, like
the Kendrick Push song.
It's not normal. You know what I'm saying? But
you know what
generationally, man, like where we are right now, the consumer isn't really about appreciating music or appreciating the art. They're into just consuming the art. It's gluttony.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you want more and more and more and more. You never are really, really satisfied. So even when something is good, you don't really care about it being good for long. You care about it being good in the moment.
Yeah, because like every Friday I'm checking the new albums, right? I'm hoping for something fresh or something.
But I mean,
it's
everything is like that, man. Like, there was a time where, like, I mean, think about fashion. Like, there's no more waiting outside in the line in the morning for Jordan.
Yeah, that was the thing. I
know
remember posting out with my son.
Yeah.
Like, those are memories of my kids' childhood. Me and my two kids posted up to get the new threes coming
That's
out.
because it was appreciated in an art form. Fashion is an art form.
Right.
Yes.
Right? Now, again, the gluttony of consumption, when you can go on the internet and get it, that's one thing, right? But when the nostalgia is removed from it, that's another thing, right? And now where Nike, as a company, is losing money for certain reasons, they have to... We ain't never see a Jordan come out every week, twice a month.
Ever.
No.
And ever.
But,
It was once a year.
The word is
wait
nostalgia, right? Because like you would walk into the record stores, and it was like, damn, am I getting the Jay-Z or fucking Outkast album that weekend?
Think
And
about
you
it.
only got so much money.
Yeah.
back
Like,
then.
you couldn't wait until Christmas. I know I couldn't, because you knew a Jordan was going to
Yeah,
come out.
11's coming out
You didn't
Christmas.
know what it was going to be.
100%.
You
Yeah.
didn't care.
Colorway, you ain't no
I
matter.
didn't want no spring break shoes, because if that was going to eat up my mom money,
Yeah.
I wanted to wait
Yep.
until whatever was coming out on Christmas break, because everybody was coming back from Christmas break.
Yeah.
But
Fresh.
whatever Jordan came out over the break.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
had to get it because they're not going to
And
be
you had to get it.
limited amount.
They
Correct.
actually sold out.
Yeah.
Like, now, because of the consumption level, I'm laughing because I do it in certain instances, right? Like I'll buy a pair of white Air Force Ones and the slightest scratch,
Yeah.
I'm going to respin that 115 because I can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like that.
Right.
No,
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, because you had to make it last.
You had to make
There,
it
you
last.
had no choice.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah.
out here like that.
Yeah. Everything is
Like-
instant everything.
Instant gratification.
I got a question randomly.
Yeah.
Were you or like your circle back 10 years ago, was it a lot older people?
Yeah, I always like my business partners when I got into business. Like when I was young, I hung with like my uncles, my older cousins. Like hanging out with people my age was like few and far in between. You played on the same sports teams, neighborhood stuff like that.
What sports did you play? I know you said
Yeah, I played football. I was good too.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was really good.
Dope.
Yeah.
What
I was
position?
wondering.
What
I
position?
played cornerback and safety.
I can see that. All right.
Yeah.
Swatting those down.
You still got
interceptions.
skills?
Hell no. No, man.
When's the last time you did some sprints?
See 4:30.
I mean, I still hit the gym. I still keep myself in shape and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I could never, man. Like I work with a couple athletes right now that I manage and like
Yeah.
work with, and like just looking at what it takes to be them today versus
What
what
it
we
took.
were doing, man.
Yeah.
Like it's pros and cons. It's a little bit easier, but a little bit harder. Athletes are way bigger, faster, stronger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
generationally, year by year. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. Like sports for me though was one of those things again where it's like rap or go to the league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
I get it.
I ain't see being a producer, being a business manager, talking to y'all about real estate.
Yeah.
That wasn't in my cards. If
Right.
you would have asked me to build my deck
Yeah.
at, even 10 years ago at 24. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
crazy.
But let
What-
alone at 15, 16.
when did the talks or maybe the seed get planted? It was like maybe you could get a residency. Like how long ago was that like planted in your?
Yeah, how do
or
you get
how
a
did that fall
residency in
in?
Vegas, bruh? Like,
For
what are we
real,
talking
yo,
about?
If I'm being honest, like
Because that's something different.
there were no talks. Like people have to understand what a residency is to understand how hard it is to get a residency, right? Like getting a residency is this casino saying that whatever your product is good enough that we can play it over and, over
Absolutely.
and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's first of all. You know what I'm saying? But for us, man, it was a gradual buildup. So the first year we played Vegas for Usher's Lovers and Friends Festival, we played at the Cosmopolitan, in the Chelsea Theater at the Cosmopolitan with Jermaine Dupri. And it just so happened that here's like the nepotism and why relationships are so important. There's a company called C3. They're a Live Nation company. It's owned by a couple, business friends now, a guy named Charlie Walker. Charlie Walker happens to be partners with a guy named Ron Lafitte, and Ron is in the Pharrell ecosystem of management and business. So my business partner, Famlay, is obviously friends with Charlie. Charlie connects us to Andrew, who I end up becoming friends with. Andrew works for Charlie. Andrew makes all the decisions for where C3 books shows. So me and Andrew got really close. We played the Cosmopolitan the first year. And I was just a business dog and smart enough to get ahead of year 2 of Lovers and Friends Festival, which happens in May.
Yep.
So 2023, we play. I'm like, yo, what are we doing next year? Like, how can we, get this contract again? And it just so happened that it works. And it's kind of funny because Lovers and Friends ended up putting up multiple pre-parties in 2024. Like we opened the door, right? That in 2023, there were no other pre-parties.
Yep.
It was just the festival. So in 2024, we just wanted to be outside. Like we were inside the year before. We were like, yo,
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
Vegas. Like we want to play one of these outside beach clubs. They reached out to Drai's. They knew somebody over at Drai's. Actually connected me to the owner of Drai's, my guy Dustin. His last name is Drai. Like it's their family. It's his father's business.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So this is like the decision maker. His name's on the private jet. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? We played Lovers and Friends last year, and it sold out. You know what I'm saying? The pre-party at Drai's, and this is an R&B beach party. So y'all gotta understand like those two variables, man. R&B and a pool party are just
I want to
kinda
go.
And the
crazy.
demographic
So,
during the day is exactly what they want.
yeah,
Just to be
like,
clear.
So it was just
I'm trying to go.
it was just ridiculous, man. So made a good impression, kept the relationship strong. We were all assuming that Lovers and Friends would come back this year.
Yeah.
So we actually were way ahead. And when they gave us the Lovers and Friends Day, I was just like, look, like, how can we like get into y'all system more than just a one-off? You know, I love to play you guys more. Like, we got this roster of DJs that we work with year in and year out, and it just so happened, man, that, you know, the relationship was good. They seen the worth and the price point of booking a block party versus having to spend a 6-figure ticket on an artist. And, you know, we were able to get the residency done, man, and we got like some killer dates, like 4th of July. The actual July 4th day is a Friday.
Yep.
Play on that Friday.
So
it's like the first year of your residency, your third date falling on the 4th of July.
Yeah, it's huge.
And then we were able to get Pusha booked on July 5th. So July 4th is an R&B block party at Drai's. July 5th, Pusha is playing Drai's. This shit ain't normal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I won't sit
Facts.
here and act like
Right.
it
you
ain't
know,
normal.
happy to be here. Nah, we worked our ass off for
Yeah.
that one, man.
Facts.
And like to basically have a Virginia takeover of Vegas on 4th of July weekend is just, it's mind blowing to me, man. Like these are the times where I'm just happy to be here. Like Pusha's a giant, Fam's a giant. Like playing at Drai's is like, you know how many artists, like top caliber artists, never get a residency in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tons.
You know what I'm saying?
Tons.
That deserve
Yeah.
it though. That
Facts.
probably could easily, you know, be deserving of that, man. So to get 5 dates, you know, May through September, like is no short of like just a blessing. And,
I'm gonna get emotional on you really quick. All right, just real quick. Make sure you like, subscribe, Your Peak Life podcast if you haven't on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. But Tone, you and I have the same former mentor, Mr. Tim Mayer. Okay, that was when him and I worked in radio together. He was one of the guys that we just look up to. One of his superpowers of many was he would focus on what you're good at and help you elevate, and try to not convert you and focus on what you're not, because what you were good at can get to the goal, and everyone has their strengths and their cons, right? Strengths and weaknesses, excuse me. But he used to tell this to me. I know he said this shit to you too. But what are you doing now to stop and smell the roses, to enjoy what you've built, but not getting complacent and not stopping to continue the journey?
first of all, man, like people gotta understand, like Tim is the reason I'm here.
Right. I also want to give a shout out. We saw Miss Jacqueline this past weekend too.
Cried.
Last weekend, that was she was out at Sky Bar. Where you were at.
Yep.
She's
She said what's up.
She's one of the agents here at Real Estate. She's our former mentor's wife, so still rocking and rolling. Made a promise that we'll always have her back, and she's here. But it was really cool because your drunk ass came to the club right at the end.
Did you tell her I was coming?
No, I wanted to surprise you. I got a section behind me. I always have that. The people were rocking. It's a great night. And then he comes around like 12:45. I think y'all might have already left by then. But Miss Jacqueline,
We're the early crew.
yeah, the early crew. But they, Miss Jacqueline's there, and then I was like, turn around, look who's here. And he saw her. He just like mouth dropped. I was like, yo, go talk, and I'm gonna go back to working, right? And then that was a cool thing that you didn't know that I set you up on purpose for that to happen, because I knew y'all were coming. I'm like, they'll see. But it was one thing that I want you to understand, that just because something is gone doesn't mean it's never remembered and still living on. And the way that I live on personally is ensuring that Miss Jacqueline's going to be straight the rest of her life in some way, shape, or form. She can take care of herself. This one, be very clear on that one. I'm just here when she needs me. Yeah. And I made that promise, and I will always hold that up. So when I say, what are you doing to stop and smell the roses? It's one of those things that makes me smile now. I don't get sad anymore because I'm going. Like, life is good. But it's like, yo, let me just enjoy this fucking moment. You know, let me enjoy this time. Let me just enjoy this. And that's one of the times I enjoy it, when I'm spinning, because that's like my therapy. Like, you're throwing these events when you're finally there, you can have a drink and you're like, it's here, right? It's the controlled chaos getting to this event. But outside of enjoying the moment and smelling the roses in that moment, what are you doing when it's just you and the fam, or just you, bro? Like, what are you doing to Antonio to enjoy what he's built?
Man, bro, like, to be honest, man, because I wouldn't even like come up here and bullshit you. I suck at that shit, and I'm working on it. And I think one of like the measures of a man is like his level of presence. Like, how present are you at all times, right? And it's so easy to get detached, man.
Yeah,
you
facts.
know, like in my position, yo, everything can be easily overindulged. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get a rider when I go to Drai's, bro. Like, I can ask for anything
Right.
I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, groupies haven't gone away since Rick James.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm married, my G. Like,
Right.
I got, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
like,
wifey.
Being present and, like, what's a reality and, you know, what's falsified, man, is a superpower.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, the thing I try to lean into the most is, like, the fatherhood part of my life. Like, I grew up without a father. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for my 3 kids, me and my son's birthday are a day apart. I don't
That's
believe
crazy.
That's
like,
dope.
I don't believe that's accidental.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever power you believe
Yep.
in, like, things work out for a reason. You know what I'm saying? My daughters are 15 months apart. They're going to get to go to school together. If my youngest daughter decides to graduate early, she'll get to graduate with her sister. Like, this is all stuff I'm thinking way ahead of.
'Cause it's gonna
you know
happen.
what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, I don't have any, like, personal stuff that Antonio does for himself at this moment. I'm working on it. I used to be like a super reader, you know what I'm saying? But I don't even always have time. I try to read on a plane.
Yeah.
Weird fact. I don't know if you guys knew this.
What?
I seen this the other day. I was watching another podcast, and it was a psychologist, and they were just talking about how because of the cabin pressure and because of the altitude of when you're flying on planes, you should try to work or read. You actually retain information
Interesting.
way easier on an airplane than you do on ground because the altitude and the cabin pressure changes your brain's firing signals. Some crazy shit.
That's some.
Shit, I'm bringing
Crazy
my books
shit.
on the plane now, dog.
But how much does that
Until
make
we
sense,
get-
though?
Until we get somebody in the middle of us talking our head off. But yeah, I get
But
it.
how
So-
much sense does that make, though? You wouldn't even think about that.
No, that doesn't.
Right?
No,
But
I
when
never
you
would
think
have.
about it, she was just like, you think your ears popping are normal?
Nah.
It's not normal. Like, your ears are popping because there's a different chemical.
Yeah.
Your brain is reacting to a change of space.
Yo, share that with me. I want you to share that podcast with me.
I will.
That's the type of shit that I like to listen to now because it's just mind blowing shit that none of us would have thought about
It's
ever.
just out of the box. So, like, you know, I'm trying to get back into, like, reading. You know, I read, but not avidly as I have.
Yeah.
And just trying to find, like, pardon me, like, spaces of peace. Like, you're never gonna get total rest days. I don't believe
Nah.
that. If y'all are having total rest days somehow, please
Nope.
tell me how.
This is our rest day.
This is
We're
our
going to
rest day. This podcast?
Top Golf at 3 to 6.
Yep. With our
Yeah.
agents.
Company.
Yep. So showing that
But,
out.
you know, trying to understand the value in an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My new shit is taking a nap, bro. I've been taking naps, bro. Like, and I've been enjoying
Oh, yeah,
it,
you're
too.
over
Like,
30.
I've been enjoying it, bro. Like, I'll text my assistant and be like, look, I'm about to take a nap, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so if y'all need me in this next couple hours, you dead. You know what I'm saying? But if it burns, it burns. Bro. You know what I'm saying? But trying to do little stuff like me and my wife, you know, have started like this spa thing. You know what I'm saying? We go over to the Founders Inn.
Good.
You know, once a month, try to, like, you know, just rejuvenate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you move so much. You're on the road. You traveling, flights. You know, driving all day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a crazy schedule when the kids were in school. Thank God summer break is here. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because I wanted to be there. Like, she would have been able to handle it on her own. But for me, it's like, in 10 years, it's something that they'll remember that I was able among all the stuff. Because they're very, very... My kids know exactly who I am and what I do. Like, Junior getting arguments with his friends at school and be like, Google my daddy. I'm like, bro, stop saying that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they're very, very aware. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's the ultimate flex.
It
though.
is though.
Bro,
It
listen
is.
to
It
me,
is.
what?
It is.
And
That's
I'd be
the
like,
ultimate
I'd be like, bro,
flex.
stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my
Google
point is,
my
like,
daddy.
in 10 years, though, like, knowing who your father was, but still made time to drop you off at school every day.
Yeah.
Pick you up from school every day if I'm in town. To me, that's something that I want them to be able to say, nah, like, my dad was there. Like, he never missed a field day.
Yeah.
He never missed drop off, pick up.
Yep.
None of that. Unless he's out of town, he has
Yeah.
to, right?
But you communicate that. They'll know why.
I communicate
right.
that. He's 11. He has a phone. He's FaceTiming me. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, trying to create things for them that are memorable, you know, has become something that I, you know, have dived deep into. Trying to actually, you know, figure out what, like, being a grown man
Yep.
actually is. You know what I'm saying? Where you're raised the way I was raised, man. Like, your coaches are your dads. Your uncle are your dads. my grandfather. I call my grandfather dad, like my whole life, not just when I got old. He's always been my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like trying to navigate this space, man, you know.
Yeah, like
it's
being
been
in a
interesting.
relationship for so long, like we're done giving gifts. It's all about the moments.
Yeah.
Memories, bro.
That's the memories, the moments.
Yep.
That's what it's about.
Nah, for sure, man. That's really, really what it is too. Like me and my wife have been together. God, I shouldn't even put myself in a position to quote time.
A long time. It's been together a long time. Let's
long
just say that,
time,
all right?
yeah.
'Cause we've all been together.
More than 10 years.
There you go. Been together a long time. And with that, is a few things I want to ask, but I want to ask this one thing. This is a big one. I was thinking about this. You're slaying it right now, dog. You've worked with people you always wanted to work with, but there's no way you've worked with everybody you've wanted to work with. No. Who's that one guy or gal right now? If you had the opportunity for a one-off, you would go, I'm doing this.
Oh, I got a crazy list.
But I want one. The one.
No, I wouldn't dare let you dictate that.
All right, top 5. There you go. Top 5.
On the R&B block party side.
It could be anything. It could be anything. It don't even have to be. It could be anything.
Just
anything in the entertainment world.
You know it's gonna be music for me.
Right.
On the R&B block party side, like I've always wanted to work with DJ Premier.
That'd be dope.
Just because I know what that means.
Right.
But DJ Mustard, Metro Boomin.
That'd be dope. Very relevant too.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the artist side, it's kind of crazy because Erykah Badu was on my bucket list forever. I had never seen her perform. I had never been anywhere near. I always wanted to go to an Erykah Badu concert. She's my favorite artist. And the first time I ever see this lady, smell this lady, be around this lady, I booked her.
Yeah.
She's here because of me. I'm sitting in the dressing room beside her laughing, joking. She got her hair all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
that's dope.
the Erykah Badu thing probably kind of ruins that bucket list. But if I had to pick like one person to work with, like musically, like a performing act, I don't know, bro. Like I love Stevie Wonder, but he's get into a
Yeah.
space.
Alive or dead? How about that? It don't even matter. That makes it a little bit easier, and it can be anybody.
Oh, that's stupid. I would have picked Michael Jackson.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is. There
Yeah,
it is.
I was gonna say that for him.
Like, but nah, alive though. Like I do think like I would get around Jay-Z and not talk about music.
Yeah. Right.
You would have to force me. I don't care nothing. What he's done as like a black businessman.
Correct.
Just a businessman in general.
It's one of those things. You heard that. Would you rather take $1 million right now or a dinner with Jay-Z?
I'd take the dinner. $1 million ain't no money.
That's what I'm saying. That was a thing for a while. Like, or they'd put the person in there that you would say who you sit down and do with. But you just never know what
Fun
can happen
fact.
after that.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah, fun fact.
R. Kelly needs to like R. Kelly R&B party.
Still the king of
Yeah,
R&B. I'm just
right.
saying, but
Fun fact, me and Jay-Z got the same birthday. Just putting it out there. December 4th. Oh, that's my man.
The Rock.
Kind of makes y'all cousins a little.
Yeah. We kind of boys just because of that.
Nah, man, but that would be huge for me. You know, I would love to talk to him. But I'm blessed, man. Like I've had conversations with Pete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Not small ones where it's like, yo, you good? You good? Yeah, nice to meet you. Like, nah, like real conversations with Pharrell. He's like, no, you should do this.
More than
What do you
once.
think about this?
Right.
All the time.
Yeah.
You
That's
know
what I'm
That's
saying.
dope.
Yeah.
Anytime, and that's such a huge credit to Fam, man. Like, I thank Fam all the time, and he probably thinks it's like cliche or like at this point, you know what I'm saying? But without Family, man, Nathaniel Johnson,
Nathaniel.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that man has literally changed my life, man. Like, there are no conversations with Pharrell. There are no business partnerships with Pusha. Like,
Yeah.
for him to trust me to bring me into, that part of his life and that ecosystem, man, like, I can't thank that dude enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And Fam, we're going to get Fam on the show solo. I'm actually glad that he's not here because we're going to do another episode with Fam here. And then I want y'all to watch y'all's individual joints, right? But I can almost guarantee that he'd say the same thing about you. Because he's most likely just as grateful for you being involved in his life to rejuvenate, let's go. To give the kick in the ass, like, let's effing go. Not saying anything was bad, but it's one of those things. When you bring, like, when I talk with June, it's like I didn't start in real estate the same time he did. But it's like when I get around, I'm like, let's fucking go. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's one of those things when you get that energy, which is contagious in the same room. He's that kind of guy. I know he's gonna say something very comparable like that.
What's funny though is I always felt like that was my purpose for him. Like I felt like God put me in his life, man, to like be a part of his second go at this shit.
See what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I am a very overprotective dog of that dude.
As
it
you should
probably
be.
pisses him off sometimes. He's like, yo, I'm not a kid. I don't need you. But
Yeah.
like,
I'm a
yo,
grown ass
like,
man, son.
He's like Nate would give you the shirt off his back.
Right.
Not like me, like anybody.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And like, you don't find too many people who survive this side of the industry, like the rap side.
Yeah.
The vulgarity, the nastiness of this side of this industry for
Yep.
25 years and have the same friends, no bad relationships.
Yeah.
You know, when he and I become business partners and we decide to work together, that affects everybody else that works for us.
Right.
Right? So everybody now gets afforded the same opportunities when Pharrell comes to an R&B block party, you know, at Scope Arena, the photographers that work for us, the assistants, right? Like he's changing people's lives outside of him. There's this crazy trickle down effect. And I just always hope he understands that.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about it all the time. Like, yo, like you're a giant. Like,
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
One last thing before we let you go, bro. If you could tell yourself something that you want to hold yourself accountable for to get to your next peak, whatever that may be. So when you look back at this podcast next year, what would that one thing be?
I would say time isn't real. It's what you make it. The reason I say that is because, like, we all succumb to certain pressures. You know what I'm saying? But your timetable isn't mine. Your timetable isn't mine. Mine isn't yours. If you look at time like a tool, the way you say look at money like a tool, you know, I think you'll take advantage of it the right way. You know, so you won't feel disheartened when something that you thought you could do in a month takes 2 months.
Yeah.
You won't feel like because you didn't do it this year that you can't do it next year.
Right.
I would just continue to tell myself that, you know, time is a perception, you know, which some people might look at like, yo, you're crazy. No, it's 24 hours in a day. It is, right? But it's 4 weeks in a month, it's 12 months in a year. So if I care about the 12 months and you care about the 24 hours, it's just our perception at a time.
It's everyone's opinion.
Yep.
So then with that being said, you got the dates coming up. This week we have the R&B Block Party, right? Norfolk Scope.
June 20th, we'll be at Norfolk Scope Arena.
But that's the R&B Block Party,
the
right?
R&B Block Party.
We got Izzy, you got the whole crew.
Yeah, the only like close to national DJ that we're bringing is SNS, Mary
Gotcha.
J. Blige's DJ, but
Yep.
everybody else is
Where do they go to
local.
get the tickets? Or
Ticketmaster.com.
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
The Giant.
Or to Scope Arena box office if you want to duck all those nasty ass fees.
Right. Smart.
It's crazy.
I know. It's like another 100% on top of the ticket price.
Disgusting.
So then after that joint, you got your July 4th weekend at Drai's on July 4th, and then July 5th you got Pusha in Vegas as well, right?
Yeah.
Those are you can Google this and find
That's
this information
up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
And then after that, you got do you have any other block party scheduled for the rest of the year? Or that's tentative right now.
so you got August with DJ Drama and
Okay.
Dre's.
August, I'm gonna be there by the way.
Yeah, I remember you telling
Yeah.
me. You got Cousins Festival in August. That's the 30th.
Labor Day weekend,
Labor
right?
Day weekend.
Scope,
and
right?
then Scope Arena.
We got
yeah.
T-Pain, Jeezy, and who?
Lil Kim.
And Lil Kim, yeah.
DJ Clue.
Yep. Oh, and
DJ
Clue's gonna be there too?
Yeah, DJ Clue.
Clue.
Right.
DJ
about
Envy.
Breeze Airlines
Yeah,
about
yeah.
to go.
No, that's here.
That's here.
Oh shit!
That's at the
Yeah.
Norfolk Scope.
Yeah,
August,
we
Labor
here.
Day weekend.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cousins
Cousins
Festival is
Fest.
here. Yeah. And after Cousins Festival, we close out the residency September 5th with Manny Fresh.
Dope. At Dre's?
At Dre's.
Gotcha.
And then October the 9th, we have Detroit.
Dope.
With Jermaine Dupri. Hopefully by the time this comes out, the Chicago date will be announced too. It should be, but that's November 15th
Nice.
with Jermaine Dupri too. So.
That's what's up, brother.
Yeah.
But you can go to the website. You can go to the Instagram. You can, everything's there. Well,
you
everything
go
will
to
be there.
R&B Block Party on Instagram. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's crazy how Instagram has become the new web page.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't even need a .com. Like you just put everything links all that on Instagram.
That's true.
That is true.
Well, Tone, Antonio, the man, the myth, the R&B Block Party, the cousin, the fam,
Google them.
the guy. Google this guy.
Google my dad.
Google my dad. I love that.
That's the bar.
That is mic drop, bitch. I love that. Yo, thanks for coming on the show today, dog.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Appreciate
it, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here, man. Julian, I can't, thank you enough for what you meant to me this last, 10, 15 years?
Man, we
at
just
this
getting
point,
started,
man.
bro. We still got a ways to go.
Thank you, my brother.
But it's all love, man. 757 Zone. We love when we can have locals here showing you that your peak life can be in any industry if you decided to put your head down and go for it.
2 up, 2 down, baby.
It is. June signing out. Edgar, I didn't even joke his head today, to be fair, so you'll get it on the next episode. DJ Julian Rivera signing out. Follow Your Peak Life Podcast, Apple Music, Spotify, and on YouTube. DJ Julian Rivera, the VA agent, Edwin Rodriguez, Instagram, R&B Block Party, Instagram. Have a good one. Cheers. Next time.
Peace.